going to talk about the racehorses now. Get this video away. We had a great week off on the track out of Lexington. I spoke about that earlier. Obviously, we didn't get everything in we wanted. Brace for Landing, Pickpocket, Memory and Imagination. Those horses did not get in this week, and I'm trying my hardest to figure out the best way forward for them. Now, Brace for Landing, as I said, I just talked about him. He's ready to go. He trained up good, getting ready to prep for the card that was canceled in Dayton, and he didn't get in. Now, the problem with Dayton is in Southern Ohio, it's Ohio-owned and bred first and foremost, Ohio-trained second. Now, we are staying over here now. I did change my address to Brunswick, Ohio, but you have to be, for that to kick in, it's 2 years, apparently, I was told before. So I guess the next meet, in the next Dayton meet, will be okay, I guess. So we're going to try and get in. I had called the race office and said, what do you want me to do here? Just enter these horses somewhere else? Or he said, no, with all the stakes and everything, the box was jammed. He said, a lot of those horses are turned out or somewhere else now. You should be fine this week. So we'll see how fine we are this week. But Brace for Landing sits ready to rock. And I guess we're going to have to train him up again this week at Northfield. And the obvious question, as I say that out loud, is can he race at Northfield? Yes, they all can. But not until next Sunday, and they draw for that on Wednesday as opposed to Tuesday in Dayton. So as you ask that question out loud, very good question, Tuesday will be Dayton. After that, we'll pivot to Northfield Park. Save America was very good last week, winning the Open. Somebody said, why didn't we just put him back in there? It would have been easy. Except the problem is when you win the Open, sometimes if it looks like you're a layover, which it didn't look to me, but fair being fair, they give you the 8-hole. Sadly, with the 8-hole, I'm not racing into the 8-hole, assigned the 8-hole in an open pace on a half-mile track. So he can go to Dayton. Rock Shining Star, as you can imagine, now is up in the Open. He can go race in the Open Friday at the Meadows. Spitfire Overseas qualified today, 154 at Dayton. He'll be in to go next week. Now he has to start in the Open, so we're going to have to go easy. His first start or two, but he's ready to go now and will start racing next week. Tactical Mounds raced good. I know Megan just seemed so upset that the mare was a little flat, but you know, when you're at 95% racing against those caliber horses, you do look inferior. But the problem is we already know she's not. She already took a mark of 49-4. She's a legitimate contender and a very, very good mare, and I am absolutely certain that Megan will have her ready. As of right now, I suspect we have 3 horses for the Breeders' Crown this year. We have Tactical Mounds, we have Memento Mori, and we have Time Is On My Side. A lot of people ask about Captain Incredible. Captain Incredible is not going to be ready for the Breeders' Crown. It would be unfair to him. I thought he might be. Everything had to go perfect. I just didn't want to push him too much. I'm going to train him Monday in the race bike in probably 2.7, 2.8, and we'll see how he trains on Monday. But for now, I don't think it would be fair to say, hey, could you do me a favor? Could you go and weigh some 49 here in 3 weeks for me? Just a little unfair to him. But the Governor's Cup and the Matron are big races. It's a big deal.
Where's the Governor's Cup?
Governor's Cup's in the Meadowlands. And somebody asked, what about Corbin? You know what? Never really crossed my mind, but it's a possibility. But I just don't think we're going to go to Corbin with him. I don't see the benefit in it. We're probably going to hang tight and aim for the Governor's Cup and the Matron, as I said. That was Brace, Save America, Spitfire Overseas, Tactical Mounds, Texan Sopranos ready to go. I imagine he'll race next week. Megan will have him ready to go. All gas, no brakes. We gave him a week off because the optional 50 didn't fill. It was funny because Jimmy and Bill McClinchy were in that box, right? And I told them I asked specifically again. Now Bill said he didn't get my email with the video, so I'll send him the link to that. Just asking for a list of horses, and his argument, it's not an argument, but his concern and his question to me was valid. Not a lot of trainers move their horses around the way we do, right? So it's not a request they might get all the time. And fair ball, he's probably correct. But when it comes to us, I will send horses to Toronto, but I have to know that 1, they can do, and 2, that they're going to get in every week. Perfect example. I said, all gas, no brakes. You want to claim him for 50? Fine. We'll have another one in there for 50 the next week. I can assure you of that. Give us a pointer. Give us something that we can sink our teeth into. The optional 70. I think 70 Canadians a hair light for Yo Mister. but we could probably find one for there, race it a couple of times in the conditions, and then dump it in the claimant just to hedge our bets, so to speak. I don't think that'll be a problem, but I need to know that those classes are going to go. I said, the problem I have right now is that every time Yo Mister wins a race, he finds himself up in the preferred because the backup class, the one below it, doesn't fill. So now every time he's first or second, a couple of weeks out of 3 or 4, he's up in the preferred. So see if we can't remedy that. Hopefully they'll think about it. Hopefully Billy will think about it, because I was serious. I happily buy horses for Mohawk. They only have to fit 2 criteria. They have classes to race in that they can do well in, and those classes have to fill consistently. You show me horses. You show me classes that do that fit that 2 criteria, and we will buy horses for them. Guaranteed. But if you don't, I can't. You can't do that. You can't blindly buy horses hoping that there's a magical class for them to race in. Greatest Ending is almost ready to go. Stacy said she trained him in the race bike the other day. He was great, ready to rock, so that is great news. JK Victory, a little flat, albeit, but raced good the other day. Was happy with him, 3rd and 49. Looks like money. I think Harry's putting the hobbles back on him. James was telling me, he's pretty good without them. He said, well, can't get away 7th in the Open. And he said, well, the Open's tough. It wasn't that long ago, it wasn't tough for Looks Like Money. So if you tell me he's not an Open horse, well, you're going to have to get one then. Because that's where he's supposed to be racing. If he can't do an Open there, I'll race him somewhere else in an Open that he can do. If Spitfire is very good, if he gets in a roll where he's going to have to draw the outside, well, we can send him to Ontario, send Looks Like Money and or Yo Mister over to Stacy if they can do. But I don't want to move anybody around. I don't want to move Spitfire. I don't want to move Looks Like Money. I don't want to move Yo Mister. I want to have them racing in classes they can be competitive in. That's the plan. Neptune. Both the Australian horses were sick last week. A lot of mucus coming out of them. They were coughing. We only mildly moved them, just monitored their temperatures that they didn't have, and waited for the mucus to dissipate. You're just going to have to let them get over this. So they did nothing last week at all other than jog very, very light. Rock Shining Star was awesome. You're going to see him show up in the Open at the Meadows. The reason being, Save America is going to race in the Open at... it would be nice if we had 3 horses that could do in the Opens in this area. We had one that could race at Dayton full-time, one that could race at Northfield, and if you happen to win and they're going to put him in the 8-hole, we'll just sub the other one in. Rock Shining Star can't really get over half that well, so I don't know if he's a good sub-in, but it would be nice to have that. So we will be on the lookout for another horse that can do those types of things. Serious Dragon, somebody said, oh my god, he was terrible. Well, I'm sure. Stacy said he bled a little bit, so we put him on Lasix. But, if we can't race horses consistently, you're going to find these problems. And no, I'm not just going to sell them just because. We're going to ride it out for now and see where it ends. You got to remember, when I keep telling, I might make it sound easy. We just sub these horses out, no problem, don't worry about it, away you go. It's not that easy at all. At all. Three-point Blue Chip. Drew the outside. I can't drive him on Wednesday. Amy's sister has her birthday party coming up, and she's going back to Ontario, so I'm playing single dad for a few days, which is only fair because she's played single mom plenty of times in Ontario, so she's going to celebrate her sister's birthday with her, which is only fair. So I'm going to book off Wednesday. I don't know if I can Thursday or Friday yet. We'll see. But for Wednesday, for sure, calendar is going to be empty in the afternoon at least.
We don't have anything on Wednesday. It's Thursday. We don't have...
No, I just meant like what I have to do. I was supposed to go drive 3-point Blue Chip. I just texted Tim and said I can't go Wednesday. But I would have had other drives, so it doesn't matter. I don't need them. Trosa, that's you might look at the list and say, what's a Trosa? Trosa is Daniel Cordina's horse that he's sent here. This is how these horses ended up from Australia. Daniel originally had his horse Trosa to send here that showed a little blood training. He wanted to put him on Lasix. There's no Lasix in Australia or New Zealand. I said, yeah, okay, no problem. But he needs to be trained down. We ended up purchasing Neptune and, Bob's your uncle. They're both here now. Yo Mister, winner last week in 52-1, certainly looked very, very good. And that's still not quite that Open horse that they think he is when they keep taking his name and putting him in a preferred. But I could see how they could get him up in there. I would rather the backup class fill. Wouldn't it be great if the backup class had like 100 claimer on it? He would be in there in a heartbeat. 70 may not be quite enough. 100 would fit perfect. Chevron's Bypass was absolutely fantastic. Her first start, I didn't find her as good the other day. What happened since then? Did we shoe her? Was she a little bit sick? I don't know. I'll talk to Jason a little bit more about a few of these horses when I get up here tonight. Stay Close was a winner the other day and looked fantastic winning. Man, he was awesome. Looked very, very good. Patrick DePron is back in now jogging. Delicious Stone. Dominic said that he's still a little sore in that palate area. Gonna need a little more time. I'm not really sure what happened with this guy, but we will get him. We will get him going as soon as we can. And then, as I said, Patrick DePron in going now. So those are the racehorses. We'll continue to move some horses and bring some horses in, acquire horses in an attempt to have the strongest contingent we can all winter long. And I'm super excited. You know, we've talked about this, about having our 2-year-olds come back a little early, some of them start up a little early, see how they do, see if that works. It certainly worked with Time Is on My Side, but one horse does not make a real good policymaker. So we're going to have to see how the rest of them go. Want to see a cool skyline? There's Cincinnati as we start getting closer to Dayton, but an hour and a bit away, an hour and 5 minutes away. Here is Cincinnati, Ohio, mid-afternoon on Saturday. Now, that's it for your racehorses. We're going to come back to your 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds. We want to talk about the babies. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to the babies. I made reference the other day to, you know, somebody said to me, Anthony, when you say you buy a decent filly and it's almost free, I shouldn't have said it like that. I might say that around amongst friends. You should never say, nothing in this game is easy. You should never say that. But I'm going to explain what I meant by that. But we're going to do that in the yearling video. But for right now, we have your racehorses done. We still got the 2-year-olds, the 3-year-olds to do. But I'll be back with them